All eyes are on the US Federal Reserve, America's central bank. For the first time in 4 years, the market is buzzing with expectations of an interest rate cut by the Fed. But why is the Fed likely to cut rates now? And will it go for a 25 basis point cut or a more aggressive 50 basis point cut? And most importantly, how will all of this impact Indian stock markets? Let's break it down in this video. First, the why. The Fed now has been holding benchmark rates between 5.25% and 5.5% since July of last year, and that's the highest it has been in 23 years. And despite inflation now cooling from 3.3% to 2.5% and unemployment rate creeping up to 4.2%, the Fed has stayed its course. But now, with the labor markets slowing significantly and inflation easing, it looks like the Fed is ready to make its move. Fed Chair Mr. Jerome Powell and other policymakers have hinted that a rate cut is coming in the September meet. The question now is, how big will the cut be? Will it be a cautious 25 basis point reduction, or will the Fed go all out with a bolder 50 basis point cut? Market watchers, as of now, stand divided. Until last week, most traders were locked in on the idea of a 25 basis point cut. But last Friday, sentiment shifted and now a half a percentage point cut is on the table. As of midweek, futures traders are pricing in a 63% chance of a bigger cut, but there is still uncertainty. Wall Street leans towards a cautious approach, predicting a smaller move for now. But with economic indicators flashing warning signals, a more aggressive cut may not be completely off the table. Now let's talk about how all of this will impact India and our stock markets. Now let's talk about what all of this means for India and the stock markets. A Fed rate cut is generally considered good news for stock markets worldwide, especially emerging markets like India. Why? Because lower US interest rates make assets and riskier assets, especially like Indian stocks, more attractive to global investors. With the Indian stock market already at record high, a rate cut could give it that much extra push to take us out of this range-bound action. But here's the catch. A 25 basis point cut might not make much of a difference for India, as it has already been factored in by the market. So in short, it could be a non-event for Indian investors. However, if the Fed goes all out and we get a 50 basis point cut, then things might start getting interesting. A bigger cut could create positive sentiment for the market and trigger a more noticeable boost from here on. And beyond the immediate cut, investors will also be closely watching for signals on how fast the Fed plans to reduce rates further, with many hoping for a total 100 basis point rate cut in the coming months. So while the market waits for Fed's next move, one thing is clear: a rate cut is coming, and it's going to have a ripple effect around the world, including here in India. Whether it will be big enough to make a splash remains to be seen.